portion of the meeting begins. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the rights of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies in which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted on. In accordance with the provisions of this Act, the Business Administrator or Board Secretary has caused notice of this meeting to be published and have the date, time, and place thereof posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, communicated to the Hawthorne press, and filed with the clerk of the court. Roll call.
Here.
Ms. Dodd? Here. Mr. Police?
Here.
Mr. Reicher?
Here.
Ms. Sanford? Here. Mr. Sciarra?
Here.
Mr. Pataro? Mr. Turco?
Here.
Mr. Doyle?
Here. Everyone, please stand and join me with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, meeting regulations. During each regular meeting, 2 opportunities are provided for citizens to ask questions and to make comments. During the first opportunity, early on in the agenda, the meeting is open to the public for the purpose of addressing items listed for approval on this agenda only. The second opportunity occurs just prior to the adjournment. Citizens may address any subject matter that is pertinent to and or directly related to the operation of the school district. Persons wishing to speak must, upon being recognized, rise, sign in, state their name, address, and subject matter. Comments and questions shall be addressed to the board president or presiding officer and shall be limited to 5 minutes per person. The board may or may not respond to issues raised by members of the public at the time they are raised, but will provide a response if they want to. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals who speak. Please note that the board will not respond to comments regarding students or board employees in light of the privacy rights held by those individuals. Moreover, the board discourages comments with such individuals and will not be responsible for such comments. Members of the public who choose to speak during the public session should carefully consider their comments, since they could be personally liable for any statements they make. Finally, please note that in accordance with district policy, the board will not officially comment or respond to any matter mentioned unless it can confirm that the matter has first been brought to the attention of the appropriate school personnel in the attempt to resolve the issue. Public be heard, agenda items only. All right, seeing no one, we'll move right on. Approval of minutes from January 22nd, 2019 meeting.
Motion.
Second motion. Second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Polino?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd? Yes. Mr. Police?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford? Yes. Mr. Sciarra?
Yes.
Mr. Pataro? Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. All right, correspondence, reports, there's
Thank you. Unfortunately, Elizabeth couldn't be here tonight, so I don't have a report from her, so I will just share my report, and then we'll move on to our students who are here tonight to share some great things happening at Washington School. Just a couple of things before we get to our students. I just want to update the board. Obviously, we conducted kindergarten registration. We have some preliminary numbers. Right now, our preliminary numbers for kindergarten, Jefferson, there's 31 students registered. Washington 27 and Roosevelt 66. Those are pretty similar to the numbers we've had over the last couple of years. Obviously, we will get additional students. Those are not our final numbers. And we also have some requests for students who will be requesting transfers to Jefferson or other schools. So once I have more solid numbers in the next few months, I'll update the board. But that's where we are right now. Read Across America celebrations. In the coming weeks, our schools will be celebrating Read Across America. I personally had the opportunity to read to our 5th graders here at Washington this week, and I always enjoy having an opportunity to spend some time with our students. I had a great conversation with our 5th graders, read a nice story to them, and then talked a lot about Lincoln Middle School with them, so it was a nice half hour, 45 minutes that I got to spend with the students, so I enjoy that. But I encourage parents to stay tuned. I'm sure there'll be more information on our website and coming out from our principals in regard to Read Across America. We have a program, a parent night program at Lincoln Middle School on March 5th. And it's called Tools for Cultivating Calm and Focus at Home and School for Enhanced Social and Academic Learning. Presenter Teresa LaSallo comes very highly recommended. I have to thank Ms. Weger for organizing our parent night, which was the one at the high school in February, and of course this night as well in March. This particular program is geared toward parents of students in grades 4 through grade 8. However, it is open to any parent who'd like to attend. We will be having an elementary parent night with a similar topic, not exactly the same, but a similar topic for our elementary parents in April, excuse me, thank you. In April, we'll be advertising that in the coming weeks. But this particular program, again, is Tuesday, March 5th from 7 to 9 at Lincoln Middle School. I'll just give you a quick overview. It says participants will have the opportunity to discuss and deepen their understanding around the impact of stress and anxiety on relationships, the brain, and academic success. Participants will be provided with supportive research, tools, and techniques for regulation and cultivating calm within self, our children, home, and school. So looking forward to that program. Hopefully we'll get a nice turnout. If you're interested, there are flyers here tonight if you're interested. And of course it's on our website as well as on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So you can find it in any of those places. The other thing I'm excited to share, and they'll be here next month, Mrs. Trebone and Mr. Cunningham and Ms. Weger, they'll be here to present and talk about our small learning communities. They'll be at our board meeting in March. However, we'll also be hosting an 8th grade parent night on Tuesday, February 26th in the Lincoln Middle School cafeteria. They'll be introducing our new pathways, our new small learning communities is what we're calling them, to our 8th grade parents. They'll also be meeting with the students during the day to talk to our 8th grade students prior to meeting with the parents that night. And of course, then we'll be meeting with our 6th and 7th grade students as well. After the 8th grade information is shared, we'll be meeting with our 6th and 7th graders as well to get them excited about the new programs that we have at Hawthorne High School. And as I said, they will be at our board meeting in March to share this in a board setting, formal presentation in regard to our new small learning communities at the high school. A couple other things I wanted to mention, our annual Youth in Government Night. They've actually moved that. They used to try to do that in May every year. We moved it up to March, really because as we get into the end of the year in May, students are tied up with a lot of different events going on at the end of the year. So we're trying it earlier this year. So it is actually on March 6th. And the students will obviously be partnered up with one of the council members and be presenting that night. So if you're interested, or if you can catch it on Channel 77, I hope, I usually go every year. It's a great night for our students, a great opportunity for our students, and I appreciate that the mayor and council continue to do that, but it will be earlier this year. The other thing I wanted to share was we had some students who were recognized as part of the Passaic County poster contest. So I'll just quickly read to you. Each year our students participate, our elementary students participate in the Passaic County Clerk poster contest. And I'll just read what this says quickly. It says, Danielle Ireland Imhoff, Passaic County Clerk, is pleased to announce the winners of the 23rd Annual Passaic County Clerk Poster Calendar Contest. The award ceremony took place on Thursday, January 24th at the Passaic County Police Academy. The winners, all 4th graders, were honored with a reception in the presence of their families, teachers, and school personnel by the County Clerk. The 12 winning entries are reproduced on the 2019 County Clerk Calendar and will be distributed to schools, government offices, and libraries, and other public places. So the students who win are on this calendar. They are dispersed throughout the county. We get copies, we put them up in the schools, and that's a nice honor for those students. They say here it was very difficult to choose from over 400 entries because each one shined with talent and creativity. The posters celebrate historic landmarks, parks, and nature walks, as well as the diversity of Passaic County. Also, the first, second, and third place winners received gift certificates to Barnes & Noble, courtesy of the County Clerk's Office. All the winners received medals and t-shirts. Each of the young artists that participated in the contest received a certificate of merit. So from our district, we had 4 students who received honorable mention. Kupsa Bataj from Washington Elementary School, honorable mention. Josephine Pasquino from Roosevelt School. Victoria Janik from Roosevelt School. and Viviana Vetlov from Jefferson School all had received an honorable mention, and Juliana Rosarito from Jefferson won 3rd place in the poster contest. So we had a number of winners here in Hawthorne, so we're very proud of them. And Julianne's, I actually have a couple copies that the board can pass around. You can see some of the posters. And we'll get, this is just an example of what it will look like, but obviously it's a lot larger, the copies that we get, and they'll be hanging in the schools. Real nice honor for our students. I want to congratulate all those students who received recognition as part of that program. 2 other things quickly, just in terms of Hawthorne High School. I want to congratulate Sophia DiFilippo for being recognized by the NJSIA as the school's 32nd recipient of the National Girls and Women in Sports Award. And Sophia was honored in February at a statewide luncheon at Seton Hall University. So congratulations to Sophia. Also, the boys and girls will be participating in the state basketball playoffs. The playoffs begin on Monday, February 25th. I suggest you get there early. It'll be a packed house. The girls are playing Pasco Hills at 5 o'clock in the first round. The boys will be playing Mars Tech at 7 o'clock, both at Hawthorne High School. We are also planning, we had to get permission from the NJSIA, but because, if you remember, a couple of years ago, we had games, we actually had to turn people away because it was so crowded. So we're planning to broadcast the game in the school, within the school, so people who can't actually be in the gym can go either down to the auditorium on 123 and watch the game, so that at least we don't have to turn people away like we did in the past, because I'm sure it'll be a packed house. Also, another popular event, next Friday, Mr. Hawthorne, March 1st. Tickets are on sale, so if you're interested, it is a fantastic event. If anybody's been there, you know how much fun it is. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun again this year, but if you're interested, tickets are on sale. Ms. Russo selling those tickets. I believe it's a $5 donation for the ticket. And I believe that concludes my report. So with that said, I'd like to turn it over to Mrs. Spinelli and our students here at Washington School.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Washington School. Tonight, we are going to highlight the work of our Kindness Club. Before I call up our Kindness Club members, I would like to share a little background about our club. Our Kindness Club is offered to our 5th grade students. In September, the 5th grade students are given an application to complete if interested in joining the club. The application has 2 important questions. 1, why do you want to be a Kindness Club member? And 2, write about a time that you showed kindness. Once all the applications are received, I do review them, and then through that, I create a list of our new Kindness Club members. So by October 1st, our Kindness Club is ready to begin. The Kindness Club meets once a week after school and then during some lunch periods. I do have some staff members that help in our Kindness Club committee. We have Jessica Polo, who is here this evening, Megan Raleigh, and by the way, Megan gets the kudos for putting together this slideshow. And we have Sarah O'Hara. On a personal note, I just want to share that I truly believe kindness is the most important personality trait a person can have, and that the action of spreading kindness is contagious. In my office behind my desk, I have a sign that reads, "Be kind, no exceptions." Those are very simple words, but they have a powerful message. And it's the message I try to instill every day at Washington School with my Wildcats. So at this time, I would like to introduce some of our members. I have Eunice, Sabora, now going to turn the presentation over to our Kindness Club members.
And by the way, just before we begin, I just want to let you know, can you see that big kid standing in there? That big kid's me, okay? I like to participate as much as all the kids do, and on that day, I was a superhero for kindness, and myself and many other members of our Kindness Club, as well as students, dressed up as superheroes. So I try to get involved as much as I can also, because again, it's all about the kids, and when I dress up as a superhero, I'm really spreading that kindness, okay? So enjoy.
Bunny Day. Bunny Day is a time for our older students to work with the younger on a lesson about kindness, or another character trait such as honesty, responsibility, or respect. For one period during the day, our bunny brothers together on a cool activity that is planned by the teachers. It is so much fun. Socialize with one another and learn from each other. Let's take a look at some Bunny Day pictures.
There's that big kid again.
Pajama Day. Throughout the year, we have many dressing days. However, the one that kids enjoy the most is Pajama Day. For a $1 donation, the students and staff get to wear their pajamas to school. It is always fun to see Mrs. Spinelli in her pajamas. The money raised gets donated to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We are happy to say that we raised $278 to put towards research that will help the children or patients at that hospital. This is the certificate we received from the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in recognition of outstanding work. just like us. He's always looking for adventure. He's really good at solving math problems and teaching his dog Charlie to do tricks. Well, kind of. The only thing that makes Sam any different than you and me is that he's a hero.
And up.
Except the bad guys Sam is up against aren't like the ones in movies. These bad guys are called cancer, and they're pretty scary. But Sam is super brave because he has parents, nurses, and doctors right by his side. Sam has a whole squad, and you might not know it, but you're on Sam's squad too. Because you can raise money to help kids like Sam get better. You can search every nook and cranny of the house. Do some extra chores to help out your family and neighbors. Or come up with your own ideas to raise money. You can even make your own page on the website with your parents, so you can collect money from your family and friends. Then, bring what you've raised to school and add it to your class box. All of that money goes to help doctors and scientists find a cure for cancer. And it'll teach families so they know what to expect when cancer comes knocking. And let them know that they're not alone either. With your help, Sam's squad will get so big, cancer won't be messing with kids like Sam anymore. Because it means that cancer has to answer to kids like us.
Kindness Hand Assemblies. 3 times a year, the Kindness Club members organize and conduct Kindness Hand Assemblies with the entire student body to have a good character. During our last assembly, we performed various skits. We dressed up as superheroes to convey important of being a superhero of kindness and not to be afraid to show courage and standing up for what you believe is right. At the Kindness Hand Assembly, we take a moment to recognize kind students by giving our other students for earning kindness coupons. Throughout this year, students can earn kindness coupons from any staff member as a reward for doing their kindness. 3 coupons are picked, and the student's name on the coupon is announced. Each winner gets a $10 gift card to Target or Amazon. We thank our PTO for funding the practice.
We don't interrupt or tease, we don't argue, we don't fuss.
We listen when friends talk, as we share a toast, we take our turn.
Good manners aren't hard to learn. It's really easy when you find.
Good manners mean just being kind.
Remember, kindness counts.
you want to become Kindness Club members? Can you raise your hand so that you can answer? Can you answer the next one here? I think that's awesome. So a fifth grader who's coming up, they get really excited as an opportunity at Washington School to become a Kindness Club member so they can be a good influence on the rest of the school. And that's really amazing as a fifth grader for that to be something that they're already looking forward to. Anybody else?
To spread kindness all around the school.
See, that's another awesome thing. It's, we're giving the kids things to look forward to in a positive way, and they're really coming up with those things on their own, which is really awesome.
Lauren, do you want to share your favorite Buddy Day activity that we've done? Laura? Many.
When we built all tissue boxes to show like your trust with somebody, and then we broke it to show if you lie, your trust.
Very good.
My favorite one was the time where we made those little Twitter birds, and we put out the speech bubbles, and we wrote in the speech bubbles like what it meant to be truthful. Tree and the little people put their hand on the leaf and out from the leaf and we were right inside something that's kind.
All right, does somebody want to share an example of something you did in school to spread kindness, or maybe a kind thing you did for a friend, or maybe someone that you didn't really know that well here at Washington School?
I saw someone lonely, so I went and asked if she wanted to play with me.
That's awesome. Does anybody else have that?
I saw a girl who was hurt on the laptop and I consoled her.
That was really nice. See, all great things.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. That was a great presentation. We really appreciate it. Nice job. All right, moving right along. We'll move on to negotiations. Mr. DeVito.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next item on the agenda for consideration by the board is the successor agreement for the Hawthorne Custodial Maintenance and Bus Drivers Association. The agreement will cover the current and the next 3 school years and will be retroactive to July 1st, 2018. I had the privilege of serving on the board's negotiation committee with Mr. Sciarra, Mr. Palouse, and Mr. Taraglia. I want to begin by expressing my gratitude to them, Mr. Spirito, and Ms. Sanglo for the many hours they contributed to the success of these negotiations. I'd like to outline for the public the essential terms of the contract. Number 1, salaries. The term of the agreement is 4 years. The salary guides for custodians and maintenance workers will increase by 3% in the first year and 2.9% in the second, third, and fourth years, inclusive of increment. The guide for bus drivers will increase by the same amounts, but exclusive of increment, as the bus drivers will remain on the current steps for the duration of the contract. Part-time custodians and drivers will see an hourly raise from $12.50 an hour to $13. Number 2, health insurance. This is a significant issue for the board and the association. The parties agreed to change the base plan from Direct 10, which is the most expensive option, to Direct 15, which is a more managed, lower cost plan. The change will result in significant savings from going forward, and it reduced the cost of the settlement in year 1 of the agreement. In consideration for these savings, the board agreed to share some of these savings by reducing the employees' insurance contributions in the last pay period of the school year. During the last pay period of the school year, employees will not contribute toward their premiums. In effect, this reduces their annual Chapter 78 contributions by 5%. However, as a precaution, due to rapidly rising insurance costs, the board included a sunset provision so that this reduction will expire at the end of the contract term. It will not continue into the next contract unless the board agrees to do so. The board agreed to grant each employee a $200 stipend in each of the first 2 years of the agreement. Finally, the parties agreed that newly hired employees must work at least 30 hours a week to qualify for benefits. This is increased from the previous cutoff of 25 hours. Anyone employed before the effective date of the agreement will be grandfathered under the 25-hour cutoff. Number 3, although the changes to salary and health insurance have the largest financial impact on the district, the new contract also makes several changes to working conditions. Going forward, all overtime will be paid in salary rather than as compensatory time. These are new, reasonable restrictions for when employees may use their vacation and personal days. And there are significant changes to bus driver scheduling, which will ensure that drivers are paid fairly, but only for the hours they actually work. Overall, the board and the association each accomplished several of their priorities. In particular, the changes to health insurance will produce meaningful savings for the district. Employees will continue to have access to high-quality care, but at a much reduced cost to both the district and to the employees themselves. In closing, I want to acknowledge the efforts of the Hawthorne Custodial Maintenance and Bus Drivers Association and its representatives, who were always professional and made every effort to find solutions to our respective priorities. This 4-year contract reflects these priorities. Pursuant to the recommendations of the Superintendent of Schools, the Committee on Negotiations recommend the following resolution: N1 and N2 on page 3. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Cruz?
Yes.
Mr. Reichert?
Abstain.
Ms. Sanford? Yes. Mr. Sierra?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll? Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Trevino?
Yes.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. All right, moving on to curriculum and instruction. Ms. Scott, please.
Pursuant to the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Committee on Curriculum and Instruction recommends the following resolutions: CI3 through CI5 on page 4, CI6 through CI12 on page 5, and CI49 on page 14 of the addendum. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second item? Second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Cruz?
Yes.
Mr. Reichert?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford? Yes. Ms. Sierra?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll? Mr. Turco?
I have to abstain on CI 12. Yes on everything else.
Mr. Trevino?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. Finance and Administration, Ms. Sanford, please. Oh, I'm
Okay, so
sorry.
I got personnel.
Yeah, we skipped personnel. Abby, I'm sorry, personnel.
The following resolutions are pursuant to the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. P13 and P14 on page 5. P15 through P28 on page 6. P29 through P32 on page 7. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second. 1 second.
Got an
It's
addendum.
also, there's an addendum.
Oh, sorry. P50 on page 14 of the agenda.
Thank you.
On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Blues?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford? Yes. Ms. Sciarra?
Yes.
Mr. Tara? Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. All right, now, Mrs. Sanford, finance administration, please.
Pursuant to the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Committee on Finance and Administration recommends the following resolution: F33 through F35 on page 7, F36 through A43 on page 8, and F51 on page 14 of the addendum. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford?
Yes.
Ms. Sciarra?
Yes.
Mr. Tara? Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Blues?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. Moving on to claims, Mr. Zara is not here right now. Ms. Sanford, would you fill in for her, please?
Sure. In accordance with NJAC 6A, :23-2, Clause 11B, C3, and C4, the bills have been reviewed, and it is recommended that the board approve the bill list for the month of February 2019.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Sanford?
Yes.
Ms. Sciarra?
Yes.
Mr. Tara? Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Blues?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. Mr. Sciarra, buildings and grounds, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pursuant to the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the committee of building and grounds recommends the following resolution. On page 9, BG 45. On page 10, moving on to page 10, and page 11, BG 46. On the goldenrod addendum, page 15, BG 52 and 53. On behalf of the committee, I so move. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Sciarra?
Yes.
Mr. Tara? Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Blues?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. Abby, back to you for policy, please.
Pursuant to the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the committee on policy recommends the following resolutions. PO 47 and PO 48 on page 11, continued on page 12. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a discussion.
Yes.
Mr. Sprito?
Yes,
Do
sir.
we have any follow-up yet on the question from last month in regards to the issue of residency and the question we had about policy, we can't ask them if you recall.
I'm sorry.
There's
We can't ask them,
says you can't ask to see.
Oh, no.
we have no back.
I don't have any follow-up.
I have 2 notes. The first 3 here we're reading for the first time, so just to give you a little background on those. F337, service animals. Policy guide F337 has been revised to reflect expanding federal case law in other jurisdictions, stating among other things that a board may not require an individual with a disability using a service animal to carry liability insurance for the service animal. Also states that the school district is not responsible to pay or provide a handler to aid the individual with a disability in the control of the service animal, but is responsible to assist an individual with a disability in performing the tasks required of the individual 561, procurement procedures for school nutrition programs. New Jersey Department of Agriculture is conducting audits of school districts to verify compliance with the new federal regulations regarding procurement procedures for the U.S. Department of Agriculture's nutrition program. Strauss SA worked with the first district in the state who was audited, and then they devised this policy guide afterwards. It states that there were only a few minor revisions, a few charts have been changed, and that they also now include that the charts are subject to change. And then the last one, 8860 memorials. It has been revised, removing the provision permitting a school district to fly a flag, an American flag at half-staff for reasons not authorized in the flag code. The flag code states the American flag should not be flown at half-staff unless directed by the President of the United States for national mourning of the governor of the state or for local mourning. However, there is no penalty for flying the flag at half-staff for other reasons.
That's it.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Carroll. Mr. Turco.
Yes.
Mr. Leham.
Yes.
Ms. Dowd.
Yes.
Mr. Kalous.
Yes.
Mr. Reicher.
Yes.
Ms. Sanford.
Yes.
Mr. Garrett.
Yes.
Mr. Gray.
Yes. All right, moving on to committee liaison reports, negotiations.
I just want to reiterate the appreciation for everybody that serves on these committees. They are time consuming. So I just want to say thank you to the regular who's no longer with us, and also Rick and Trudy for the time they invested in. The next unit that we're negotiating with is the secretaries, which is coming to an end at June of this year. So, hopefully the information.
Moving right along, curriculum instructions, Scott.
We met, the CNI committee met on Tuesday, February 5th at 5:30 p.m. The first order of business, we discussed the Kindness Club presentation from this evening. We then discussed the high school program of studies presented by Ms. Tribona. She had shared with us that the pathways name had been changed to small learning communities to draw upon that hometown feel. She also included that the presentation that will be given to the 8th grade students will include extracurricular opportunities that are linked in those pathways or small learning communities. She shared with us a very exciting piece of information about dual enrollment. We have a new partnership with Passaic County Community College. They will be offering classes to students at $35 a credit or $105 for a full 3-credit course. They will have access to all of the amenities that a regular college student would have, library, gym, etc. If we don't have the appropriate faculty to teach the class here, because there are credentials that need to be met, students can take the course on their campus. Currently, we have already partnered with Syracuse, FDU, and Seton Hall, and there are about 11 dually enrolled classes as of now. We're looking to add 3 or 4 new ones for next year. These classes are also noted in the Small Learning Communities document with an asterisk. If any of you have seen that document, I can scan it and send it to you as well. Also, something new and exciting is a seal of biliteracy, which is something that will be appearing on diplomas. New Jersey now offers an endorsement to high school seniors who are graduating. They have to meet both English proficiency and pass a phone test in the language that they are seeking the dual endorsement in. And they will be eligible for the seal. Currently, we have about 25 that we think are eligible this year to take the test, so that's exciting. The committee was able to play around with the new cognitive toy box, which is the assessment we will be giving to kindergartners this year on the iPad. So they set up little emojis for all of us, and we each had our own account, and we did the assessment as if we were incoming kindergartner students. Data is stored digitally and will be pulled out and stored locally, I guess. We did purchase 20 new iPads for this to be used, and I asked, and Mr. Bonus said that that's absolutely enough. The committee went through the sample test, and the team had created fake accounts for us, so thank you to Tamer for creating those accounts. Also, Ms. Tribona shared with us the NJTSS grant, which means New Jersey Tiered System of Supports.
In real time, there is a digital module for interventions in 504 and IEPs. So we are seeking a grant from this tiered system of supports that will help us to formalize the process, the intervention process, I guess, for all of our schools at each level. As students move up, the data goes up with them digitally. It will help in training in K-3. We've applied for a grant for that. We will use a train-the-trainers model, and we are starting DIVOs multiple times a year to train for dyslexia. Also, the financial literacy in grade 6 through 8, that was something that just came down the pike and was not very clear, but it appears that we already have a course that may meet the standards. There's a course that started this year for 21st Century Tech and Careers that already has some financial literacy tasks embedded in it. We're hopeful that that will meet the criteria. And that was all.
Anything else on policy?
Nope, we did not meet.
Good to go?
Good to go.
All right, moving right along. FCPAC PTOs, Mr. Bruce.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will start with HEF. They're continuing to get ready for the second annual food festival, the truck festival, which is going to be held on May 19th. It's a Sunday. Hopefully everybody will be hungry enough to come out and help HEF raise some money. Moving on to CPAC. Their next meeting is going to be on next Wednesday, February 27th. And it's going to be a good event. We're going to have a guest speaker from 7 until 9 at the Lewis Bay Second Library. Again, that's next Wednesday. It's navigating the system, but it's taking you beyond what happens here in district with your IEP. So I'll just read this real quick. Many services and supports may be provided by the school. However, additional supports and services are available from the state. These resources are not based on income, but rather the need of the children. This workshop will discuss the importance of being connected to the government agencies and eligibility requirements. I think it's something that could be really beneficial for people to come out. CPAC is also continuing their Ronald McDonald House pull tabs. If you could drop those off at any school, Andy's Corner, or again, Lewis Bay Second Library, we would appreciate that. And then there's one more thing to announce for CPAC, which is May 5th, the 4th annual color run. It's rain or shine. Again, hopefully everybody can come out. That's a great event every year. We raise a lot of money. It's a lot of fun for everybody, including teachers. So again, we appreciate the support. And now I will move on to family engagement. Sorry, my laptop's not working tonight, so I'm using my phone. This should be challenging. Unfortunately, due to the weather, right before the break, we were unable to meet as a committee. A family engagement committee will continue to move forward and reschedule something hopefully soon. But I'd like to just bring up some of the things that we are doing and continue to go. And I'd like to thank Washington School, the students, the staff, and their families, for putting on a great event tonight. It's a little disturbing because you hear about childhood cancer, but one of the recent events that we had at the high school, there was a guest speaker that came in, and he shared some information about his own personal life. And the statistics that he showed was that the third leading cause of teenage death was suicide. And he told a story, and I'm not even going to read my notes, I'll just quickly tell you that he told a story from his own perspective. He was a decent student, he was an athlete, he wasn't the typical stereotype of somebody that you would think was having problems internally. And it started at a young age, and he just kept pushing these thoughts off until he came to his senior year in college. So he held these thoughts and concerns that he knew he had, but he just kept pushing them off and kept going on with his life. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because the event was really designed to help parents and families come out. And I know it's difficult, we can't always get out, but there are things that you should look for. And that's what he was trying to show, is that it's not just somebody else's child. but you can help not only your own children, but, you know, possibly recognize some signs, you know, in coworkers or whatever it may be. People internally are having struggles that you may not see right away, but it's really interesting to, you know, he's doing well, and to hear it from his perspective of the things to look forward, I thought was pretty important. And that kind of leads me to the next thing, which Mr. Perito already brought up. That's going to be another great event on March 5th. So if anybody could, you know, make the arrangements to get there, I think that would be a great event as well. You know, Mr. Doyle and Mr. Sciarra were also at the event at the high school. I don't know if you have anything to share, but you know, that concludes my report. Unless you guys have anything to add.
Go ahead, Mike. Sure.
What I would really like, what we're doing as a district, I got to applaud Mrs. Brito and also Ms. Ware. The job you guys are doing to reaching out to families and letting them know that we're putting on these workshops and presentations is critical. I think you know we just have to promote it and keep letting people know. This was an unbelievable presentation, eye-opening to find out. You know, I think sometimes as parents, because we're all parents here, so, you know, we take these for granted. We don't really realize, you know, what our kids are going through. And we deal with things like anxiety, and it's something that I never realized in sleep deprivation or oversleeping. I never realized how big of an issue this really is. But they're telltale signs of depression and possibility of suicidal thoughts. And when you hear that suicide's, you know, it's neck and neck with opioids as the second and third leading cause of deaths in the United States, that's a scary thing. And I have to applaud what we're doing here in the district. We're not only reaching out, we're doing things, really trying to reach out to parents and families and let them know, hey, there are services here that we're, you know, that we're doing to try to help people out. This was more or less trying to, give coping skills and awareness and things like that. It was phenomenal, and I hope that we just can continue doing it. And I say thank you.
Thanks, Mike. I'm just going to add that the whole family engagement subject topic program that we're doing here is extremely important. It's something that we're all behind. Very positive. That particular night, very positive, tough subject to deal with. And I have high expectations of the family engagement program to continue to move forward and make really positive action in school vibes. Mr. Sciarra, we move on to buildings and grounds. And if you have anything from NJSBA, that's it.
No, I have nothing for, no report for NJSBA. For building and grounds, we met on February 5th, and we continue discussing the projects that we have either on our agenda to consider doing or things in the midst of doing. One of the things that we discussed was the lifts. We were still waiting for the plans on the architect, but I understand that we have something that Ms. Engel could do. I know that was some email and some updates.
It's on the agenda. We awarded the contract.
Okay, so we did award two. We were waiting for some architect plans. I guess we have them for two of them. Let's see, for RIS construction, and they're in the ed data. So we have two of them out of the five that we're looking to do have been awarded. We also talked about the 3M film, something we talked about last month right now. And maybe there's some update, but last at their meeting, they're still working on it. They're almost finished with the high school, and they're going to move it on to the middle school next.
We're actually on to the middle school.
All right, so then there is an update since that time, so hold on, we have an update. That's why I was asking. I had a little pause in.
No problem. Everything working at the middle school, yes.
We also discussed some bathrooms in the high school. We're looking at potentially maybe redoing some of them. One of them specifically, we're going to get some additional quotes and move on from there. Also, additional quotes on the locker rooms from, sorry about that, in Lincoln Middle School. Something was brought up, and we started discussing that the Jefferson School split classroom. Classrooms on the second floor, if anybody's familiar with it. Jefferson, in the second floor, they have some larger classrooms, so we are looking at getting some quotes. There's one room that will actually work for us to split, so we're looking at the potential of doing that. They are bigger rooms, so this is a project that we decide to go forward, will be done over the summer. We're still getting some quotes for the exterior doors that we talked about that were rotting on the frames and the doors at the high school and the middle school. We are still waiting the quotes for the cafeteria doors. We don't need to do that. There's 3 sets of doors, and the purpose of us wanting to do that is for security and safety reasons for lockdown. We discussed the potential of Washington, which we are at now. One of the concerns that we had was the flooding. We were going to, Mr. Chamberlain was going to look into possibly getting a barrier for the dam so we can stop from any water coming in, and we actually will find out if maybe we can have that tested. We would find on my house out. That's still going to be something. Something new on our agenda came up was the boilers at Lincoln Middle School on the second floor, the south boiler room. 2 of the boilers on the left wing of the second floor. The sensor control panels will need to be replaced. We're waiting to hear back from our contractor, Vanderbeck, to come back and evaluate and make recommendations to see if it's just the control panels or we might need to have to replace it. I don't have any other bit other than that, so that's the end of my report.
All right, thank you. Moving on, Finance Administration and Legislative, Mr. Sanders, please.
The Finance Committee met earlier this evening to preliminarily review the budget. We spent the time just going through line by line item and determining or understanding what it was. No decisions are being made, obviously, until next month, until we get our final numbers, and then it will be presented to the entire board and voted upon at the next meeting, which is March 12th. For legislative, there were a few bills that were moved forward in the Assembly Education Committee. There is a civics course requirement, A 1095, requires a course in civics or U.S. government as part of the high school graduation requirement, and requires school districts to use the New Jersey Department of Education curriculum guidelines for civics. The New Jersey School Boards expressed some concerns with this. One, if the legislation mandates a full year course, it may be a hardship on the district to fit it into the curriculum. 2, U.S. History 1 and 2 already incorporate certain topics of civics in the curriculum, which may cause an audit to determine what has already been covered and what would need to be covered. In a percentage of districts, a full year of civics is already offered in middle school, so they need to determine whether or not a separate course in high school is actually needed as well. If the bill moves forward, New Jersey School Board is requesting implementation for the 2020 to 2021 ninth grade class. That's where it would start. Suicide prevention, A 3408, requires certain non-teaching staff members to complete a training program on suicide prevention. Eye exam requirement, A 4310, requires young children entering public schools or Head Start programs for the first time to have a comprehensive eye examination completed. And Financial Literacy Month, AJR 118, designates April of each year as Financial Literacy Month. I know we discussed this a little bit before. This joint resolution improves the understanding of the state's citizens of critical financial issues such as credit management, savings, debt management, and home ownership, and to significantly increase an individual's likelihood of financial success. And that's all I have for tonight.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Turco, anything to report on the referendum or St. County School Boards?
The next St. County meeting, I believe, is March 4th. And Mr. Espino, to meet with the architect?
We met with the architect. We had some meetings with the architect and the administrative team to begin talking about some of the projects that were on the referendum list and to get their input in terms of items they would like to see in those projects. So we had those, we met all day pretty much. We had principals rotating in and out of the meeting to share the things that they would like to see into those projects. And he took that information back with him to start generating the plans for
Maybe when he's done with that.
Sounds good. All right, thank you. Public be heard. Oh, is that a hand up there? Oh, I thought I saw somebody in the third row over there. right, moving on. General comments and questions from the board related to the school district. Starting down in the end, Mrs. Scott, anything? Now, Mike, good, thanks. Oops. Down here, nobody? All right, get
I
out.
just want to thank Ms. Pinelli and the Wildcats for hosting us tonight. I want to thank Ms. Pinelli and her Wildcats for hosting us tonight.
Thank you.
Also, just kudos to you for continuing to encourage kindness and, proactively encouraging it, so.
Anyone else? No? All right, coming right back this way. New business, Mr. Blues? Nothing, guys?
I had a question that might come in this category. That endorsement that was brought up at CNI, what's the benefit? What's the benefit of the endorsement?
Actually, Ms. Mayor, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, so if they receive the seal, they will receive a notation on their transcript, and it's a special certificate that they'll receive. And it's essentially a nice accolade. So for some of these students, especially students who are ELL students, right, and maybe haven't had the opportunity to take an AP course, this is a nice recognition, additional accolade for them, as they graduate high school.
The ball for the resume stands out. Also, I wanted to ask you, I did receive my letter for my 8th grader for their meeting with the high school guidance counselor. My question was, how do we do it in the past?
That's the way they were doing it now is the way they've done it. It's a little bit different now. The guidance counselors go down to the school and sit with the student. The parents are welcome.
This is the first year that we're inviting the parents to come in.
Welcome to
We
attend.
really want to try to involve the parents in the scheduling process and that transition up to the high school.
So I did get the letter with my appointment, and I thought it was phenomenal. And that's why I was asking, because with my previous 8th grader, that, didn't ring a bell, so just kudos to that.
I believe that there's going to be a meeting prior to our meeting, right?
February 26th is the night of the 8th grade parent night. That's where they're going to share the new small learning community information with all the parents. We're meeting with the students during the day, they'll meet with the parents that night, and then you'll have the individual meetings to really break their schedule, in essence.
So I thought that evening they were going to give us a little more details.
They are. They are. Yes. Yeah, please, go ahead.
So Monday and Tuesday of next week, I'm going to be going down and providing lessons to the 8th graders to go over the scheduling process, introduce them to the small learning communities. They're going to be taking a career interest inventory, which is really going to help guide the small learning community that they're going to be selecting, which of course can change over the next 4 years. At the parent night, that's really to go over the full scheduling process, courses that they're able to select in their schedule, course recommendations from the teachers, more in detail about the small learning communities. And then in that scheduling meeting the following week, when we meet with the students at Lincoln Middle School, that'll be specific to each individual student's schedule. You're welcome.
I know that we're going to hear more about that, but just it's very exciting, everything that's happening on the CNI front. It's absolutely exciting. So, thank you.
Anything down here? That's old business? We are still on new business. No? How about old?
I would just like to remind, this hasn't been brought up on the agenda, but I've read it before. As we encounter snowy days, and I know it's no one here, but if you live near a school, please make sure, I'm saying it to the camera, that you shovel one little path so that kids can get through. I mean, we haven't gone a lot, but it's been slushy and sloppy, and last Tuesday was a bear to get them to Roosevelt. So, just a friendly reminder.
Yeah, Mrs. Brito,
Yes.
there's just some things in doing your report, I didn't quite get all the numbers, so if you don't mind. You said about the registration, what was the numbers again? And I actually...
Kindergarten numbers, you're asking.
Kindergarten, yeah.
2766. 31 Jefferson.
Right, 31 Jefferson, 27 Washington, 66 at Roosevelt.
Okay, and in regards to youth and government, is that going to change for our youth night, or ours is still going to be in there?
Ours will be the same.
Okay, so
They changed theirs, I apologize, theirs was in June, not in May. Ours was always in May.
okay.
Theirs was in June. The problem was, it's just at the end of the year. It's just
No, I understood.
So they tried to move it,
because they figured let's try something different. Makes sense?
Yeah. My question was more towards, are we changing out?
No, it will not impact our event, no.
And as far, the other question I had, when you put it, I didn't hear it, was the pathway dates that, what was it?
The meeting, it's 26th, right?
February?
26th.
26, yeah.
February
26th.
I wasn't quite sure. Okay, thank you, that's all I had.
Down here, guys, anybody old business? No? All righty, we have no private.
No private session.
No private session, so, motion to adjourn.
All right.
Not that I don't want to spend all night with you guys.
8:10?
Time us, time.
Who seconded that motion?
Second.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Pelus?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford? Yes. Mrs. Chiara?
Yes.
Mr. Carroll? Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. DeVito?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes. Thank you, everyone.